YNW Melly back in court today. His attorney saying the state has not given enough evidence to this point to keep him in jail, but prosecutors say they have proven plenty that shows he needs to remain behind bars.
Don't you cry, I'm sorry. I just call sometime I'll be home soon.
YNW Melly has one chance to be released from prison prior to his trial in September 2025. A report claims that YNW Melly's attorneys are getting ready to argue against the evidence that the judge was shown by the prosecutors. Melly will be set free if they succeed. But it's important to pay attention to what Boy stated about Melly, who revealed that the feds are doing everything they want with them, whether it's legal or not. This left lawyers online to publicize the date of Melly's release.
Now they're putting even more charges on him, and then
when they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted him bad when they waited for that law to get passed. So it'd be 8-4.
Oh right, yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a mistrial.
Yeah.
That made me like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, after a mistrial, that doesn't happen.
YNW's mother is now suing the county jail where Melly is being kept in an attempt to help her get out. This is because Melly has lived with the fact that the federal government can treat him any way they choose for the last 5 years. If you haven't realized this for so long, it's a pretty depressing reality. Melly, who sued the Broward Sheriff's Office for cruel treatment, is asking for his immediate release from prison. Additionally, he claims that they have kept him from seeing or speaking to any of his relatives for 3. YNW Melly's mother described his life in jail in a graphic manner years later in an even more disturbing interview, suggesting that he would not be there for long. The fact that YNW Melly was given a mistrial, thus defeating the case, infuriated her. Melly was held inside and isn't even allowed to use a phone or check his own mail, despite the 88% possibility that someone who receives a mistrial will be released on bond or even placed under house arrest.
Son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
After a while, Charleston White would notice this and mention that this is the way YNW Melly ought to live, and that he shouldn't be given special treatment simply because he is a well-known rapper, because he is accused of committing one of the worst crimes in history.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated. When you done chose to play somebody.
But this made Melly's mother very unhappy. In the end, Jamie King would confess that she is completely heartbroken for her son and feels helpless because he isn't even getting humane treatment in prison, which will only make it more likely that he will be released.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
All rappers, ERS, and industry personalities would eventually pay attention as Bowie went on to discuss the stress Jamie King had been under as a result of his own mother going through a similar situation.
She real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good.
However, YNW Melly's lawyers aren't letting things linger. Eventually, they would introduce evidence from the first trial that Melly was texting his ex-girlfriend while the crime was being committed, while he was running from the men he said were pointing guns at the car he and the other YNW boys were in.
The part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
The prosecution conceded during the YNW Melly trial that no firearm was ever found, where you could see YNW Melly reacting in a pretty funny way, even though they were demonstrating that a car with opposing street members was pursuing YNW Melly.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
However, the feds would eventually respond by creating a 6-page evidence dossier detailing the reasons why YNW Melly should not be released from prison. You would then tell me that if you were to let them go, they would make it very simple, starting with YNW Melly's cell phone, where he essentially committed the crime by sending a text message hours after it happened.
The Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But Melly's phone also turned up a saved video from someone's Facebook Live that captured Melly and Borland dancing in a parking lot while making a music video 6 hours after the crime was done.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Melly and Borland put on a brave front and recorded the music video since they had a contract to do so on this day and couldn't postpone it, according to Melly's lawyers. But some saw this as a lack of grief over the deaths of their two best friends, which led to some new evidence being found after the Melly. Recently, a secret that YNW Melly had disclosed to King Val during a trial was made public by a rogue Oblock user. Prior to King V's untimely death and Melly's incarceration, the two were close friends. Melly reportedly approached King Val for guidance on how to deal with being pursued for money by two of your closest pals.
Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
Further investigation revealed that the YNW brand is a real business where Melly and Borland would perform live, sell items, and promote their Instagram accounts in return for money. The YNW bank account would then be used to transfer all of the funds. Despite their lack of effort, Jaser and Juvia apparently believed that the four YNW lads would split 25% of the money apiece. King Von's background and how he handled his situation, you can easily imagine what counsel King Von might have offered Melly, considering the emotional way she handled things. Since Sergeant Williams said during the first trial that there was no chance this could have been a drive-by, the lead prosecutor then thoroughly examined the physical evidence of the crime, including the Jeep they were driving in.
Assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. The at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that.
Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside of the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas as coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that Christopher Thomas, where did that name from?
Driver's side back seat.
No. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.
Similar to Williams' admission that the crime must have occurred inside the automobile, YNW's mother disclosed who was seated inside when she took the stand during the trial. For the past 10 years, she has known all 4 of the YNW brothers.
And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Mm-hmm.
And is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Jamel.
And Jamel, is that the defendant, Jamel Demons?
Yes, ma'am.
In a pretty unnerving move, the prosecutors targeted Blythe Bort, Melly's companion, who had also just been detained because he would be facing extra charges because they didn't believe the evidence against him was enough to keep him behind bars.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with a witness.
Borland spent one day at the first Melly trial after the federal government raided his home and found documents in a suitcase. He noted the jurors' appearances on a piece of paper while he was there, and perhaps these are reportedly photos of alleged notes that were discovered at Blythe Borland's residence last week and that the state turned into the Broward clerks. He couldn't stop reading Borland doctor's description of the jurors' look as TJ academicians on paper.
Keep it real, this is sloppy. Borland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Like, god damn. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, brother, like, come the f on. It's like doing and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They're like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
Borland could have, for example, given this piece of paper to some real street guys so they could go out and get revenge on the jurors for Melly's life sentence if she had been given one. Melly and Borland, meanwhile, are presently being charged with other offenses.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
These allegations were connected to yet another YNW Borland blunder, as Juvie's father would later disclose how Melly and Borland were witness tampering, including the code phrases they used to persuade Melly's ex-girlfriend not to testify against him during the initial trial.
Melly, Jamel Demons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, who is known as YNW Bortland, are now charged with witness tampering. It sounds like the prosecutors are saying there was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures to try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom and